Good evening, Ghost Armor followers, Facebook, YouTube. MC here. It's actually my first day of paternity leave, which I'm very excited about. So I'm booking the next 5 weeks off from work just to focus on being a husband and a father. Pretty fired up about that. Appreciate all the feedback and words of encouragement. People from Hamilton, Victoria, Windsor, Fredericton, down in the Seattle area, appreciate that. And actually have guys at work that are anxious and excited to not only continue to follow on, but they're looking forward to the next episode. So it was told that I may have mentioned that I was going to put an episode together every 2-3 days. Not true. Life is way too eventful for that to be happening, but I am, with this time off, going to look and push myself to at least putting one out there once a week and to get some momentum going into the fall. So today's episode, and by the way, I'm on a pair of rollerblades. First time rollerblading, is that what they call it? That's what they did back in the day, probably 13 years ago, I think 2006. And I still got the same one, so I was going through the garage, came across these. I'm like, that's gotta happen, and we can vlog while I'm doing it. So that's what's going on right now. That said, today's episode, entrepreneurship. So this avenue was opened up to me, this way of thinking, this lifestyle, this philosophy, probably 4 or 5 years ago. And it was very interesting when that happened, as I was sort of praying and asking God that I could sort of think like that, because they just think different. They build things, create things, and boom, you got a Facebook, boom, you got a Google, boom, you got a UPS, boom, you got a FedEx, or whatever it is. And then you have these people that make up your organization what it is. Then you got this business, this big business organism that was put into play but didn't exist if you didn't think of it. So had a man come into my life 4 years ago who actually retired, stepped back from work fairly early in his life, early 40s, built himself an asset over time, replaced his full-time income. Thought that was interesting, and I just started asking him questions, letting him know I was a little bit frustrated where I was at, and he sort of pointed out why that may be. And so what he did is he broke out a configuration actually called the cash flow quadrant. And if anyone's read anything on Robert Kiyosaki, Robert talks about this, and it pretty much lays out the 4 legitimate quadrants in God's universe on how you can generate income. So you have your E quadrant, which stands for employee. So these are your police officers, these are your school teachers, these are your male, men and women firefighters that go out there every day, 9 to 5, 410s, whatever, contribute their time to society by generating income and contributing to the government and doing their job, providing great service to the public. Then you have your S. S is more specialized, small business. So your dentist, your people who own a vacuum business, these it could be a dojo. This is a small business, and these guys are they're go-getters. They're out there doing their own thing. But most often or not, they're probably working more than they want, and they need to go to work because no one else is going to build their dream. So if people call in sick, you're the guy coming in. And then you have your B. Your B is your big business. So your B, big business is anywhere where you have 500 plus people working within you or for you. And at that time, you've pretty much built something that is self-sustaining if you've done it properly. And that's what my mentor did. And then you have your I, which is your investment. And so the I is very interesting because you're encouraged and taught to, hey, if you make money or win the lottery, which you don't ever want to do that, we can talk about that later, you're going to invest it. A lot of people don't know how to invest, what investing means, and a lot of people in the employee quadrant believe that that's what they need to be doing to get ahead, but most often than not, they need the cash flow to really get the rewards back, to see those results. And if your investment goes under, which can very well happen, you want that cash flow to continue to come in to most likely pay back your people your investment that failed, or an organization, you most likely are in debt and you got to pay that money back. So there's a lot more that goes involved in that. It's something that I've been learning about and continue to study about financial intelligence. It's very interesting that we go through school never really learning on how to have our money work for us or to build something over the long term. We're also not asked the question, hey, how do you want to live? What kind of results you have? It's more like, hey, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And they say, hey, I want to be a school teacher, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a firefighter. Not that that's a bad thing, but most often, and I was heading that way, that career path wasn't going to give me the life that I wanted. More importantly, I wasn't going to become the person that I knew I could become if I built something on my own. So that's what I learned from him. That's what I continue to study. I have a job right now and I'm thankful for it, and you need it. And I'm a contributor to society. That said, I'm looking for something that'll give me different results. So that's the cash flow quadrant. So you guys can look into that. That's entrepreneurship. I have friends that are business owners. Gonna get together with one 2 weeks from now. Got successful guys on the island. Actually rent from one who had a very successful vacuum business, and it's just the lifestyle. So just want to talk about that. That's what Ghost Armor is going to be about: entrepreneurship, leadership, jiu-jitsu, my faith in Christ, all these things. Just thought I'd share. Pretty fired up. I'm sweating on these rollerblades. I hope you guys are having a great night. This video is longer than normal, but that's what it takes sometimes. We want to explain these things. So again, I'm open to feedback, criticism. I'm open. I'm saying I'm open. So bring it, and just appreciate you guys. Everyone have a great night. Enjoy your long weekend. Love you. Ghost Armor episode number 4 is out.